Hello students, how are you all? Fine? Okay. We will be studying geography and the name of the chapter is Earth. Our Earth is a unique body in the whole solar system. There are various bodies moving in the solar system, in which the body on which we exist, on which humans exist, is called as Earth. There are different bodies moving in the solar system like planets, asteroids, meteoroids and various other. There are large number of bodies, there are many bodies which are not yet known. Now we are concerned with Sun and 8 planets moving in an orbital path. As we know that Sun is the central body around which these 8 planets move. They move in a fixed circular or orbital direction, orbital movement, that is called as orbital path or ellipse. It is ellipse. That is why that movement is called as elliptical movement of planets. Okay, so what are the 8 planets which move around the Sun? They are Sun. Around this Sun, the central body, there is Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. These 8 planets are the objects which move around the central object Sun. Now first let us study about Sun. Sun is a body which is mainly composed of (70% hydrogen and 28% helium and rest metals comprise of remaining 2%. So main materials which comprise Sun is hydrogen and helium. Now this composition changes because Sun converts hydrogen into helium. Okay, what is the power of the Sun? The power of the Sun is 386 billion megawatts. The power of the Sun is 386 billion megawatts. Due to this power, most of the planets are in a gravitational pull towards the Sun. That is why they don't move. They move in an elliptical path. They move in a circular path throughout the Sun. Okay, Earth is the 3rd planet from the Sun. Earth is the 3rd planet from the sun, whose mass is 500 million square kilometer. Okay, where diameter of Earth is about 12,742 kilometers. This is the mean diameter. They differentiate at poles and at equator. At equator, the Earth is slightly bulging. It is not a complete sphere. That is why shape of the Earth is called as it is not complete sphere. It is called as oblate spheroid or ellipsoid. It is an okay. So diameter of Earth is 12,742 kilometers, where equatorial diameter is means at equator Earth will be slightly bulging. Equatorial diameter is 12,756 kilometer, and at poles it will be slightly less. Polar diameter is 12,714 kilometers. Okay, now circumference is the biggest circle drawn on a body. Circumference of equator or equatorial circumference is 40,077 kilometers, and circumference at poles will be slightly less, 40,009 kilometers. What is the meaning of circumference and diameter? When we draw the largest circle, or the circumference is the body which bifurcates a circular object. So at equator, the circle drawn will be slightly more than the circle drawn at the poles. Suppose this is the Earth, but this is a complete sphere. Earth is not having such a shape. At poles it is slightly flat, and at equator it is slightly bulging. So area here will be more than the circle drawn here. So this area is called as polar circumference, and this area is called as equatorial circumference. That is why, due to this bulging position of equator, circumference and diameter at equator will be more than circumference and diameter at poles. Okay. Now, as we know that all the bodies move around the sun, movement around the sun in an elliptical orbit in a particular path, in an elliptical orbit is called as revolution, and Earth move on its axis. Movement of a body on its axis is called as rotation. For example, so these are the two movements of earth, rotation and revolution. Okay, now what is the meaning of this rotation and revolution? Let us see it. We have seen in the definition, when a body moves on its axis, suppose this is sun, different in this way we see that different planets move in a particular path. Okay, so suppose this is earth, this is earth, so earth moves in this direction on this path around sun, earth move on this path, or this path is called as elliptical orbit around sun. Sun is the central body around which planets move. This movement of earth around sun in a particular path is called as revolution. And when earth moves on its axis, like suppose I am earth and I am moving like this is called as rotation. And suppose I am doing this motion of earth on my orbit is called as rotation, and there will be a central body, suppose this is sun, and I am moving around this also. This movement on a particular path is called as revolution. So how much time earth takes to move on its axis? Time or duration taken by earth to move on its axis is called as sidereal day, which is equal to 23 hours 56 minutes and 4 seconds. Means this is the time taken by earth to move on its axis, like this. Okay, this is called as rotation. How much time does earth takes to move and come back to its position once again? That is 23 hours 56 minutes 4 seconds. That is why one day comprised of one day. Means after 24 hours, suppose today we are at 12 noon, so after 24 hours we will be again at 12 noon. Means earth has taken a rotation on its axis. This is called as, now this rotation coming back at the same position, with respect to sun. Means at suppose sun is today at Gorakhpur, and again at today's 12 noon, sun is at the top of Gorakhpur. Now again tomorrow 12 noon, sun will be again showing at the top of Gorakhpur. So how much time will it take? 12 noon to 12 noon, 24 hours. This movement is called as solar day. It's called as solar day. Okay, so 23 hours 56 minutes 4 seconds. So we cannot say that a day comprised of 23 hours 56 minutes 4 seconds. That is why sun will be 4 minutes ahead, 4 minutes ahead when it's come back tomorrow again at same time. For example, today's 12 noon and tomorrow's 12 noon will be having a difference of 24 hours. Will be having a difference of 24 hours. But actually, it takes only 23 hours 56 minutes. Means 23 hours 56 minutes will be the time taken by the sun to come back at the same place again. Means our watch shows 4 minutes time which is later to the position of the sun. But for our convenience, we have not taken is 23 hours 56 minutes 4 seconds. We take it as 24 hours. Okay, this is what is called as rotation. Okay, now the second movement of earth is called as revolution. Movement of earth around sun is called as revolution. Means it is the path, this is sun, and movement like this. So there are two movements of earth. One is rotation, which it is taking on its own axis, and another one is revolution. So earth is moving like this. See, chalk is moving and it is also revolving. Rotation, rotation, rotation and revolution. Now, time taken for one revolution around earth is 365 days plus 365.25 days. So due to rotation, day and night takes place. After 12 hours, there will be sun will be moving in another portion of the earth. We will see it later. And due to revolution, change in the season takes place. So that is why, see, now 365 days are complete 365 days, but 0.25 days means 1/4 of a day. So when we add 1/4 4 times after 4 years, means after 4 years, 1 day will be added to get 366 days in leap year. That is why it is called as leap year, when February has 29 days, because a day comprises of 24 hours and 365 days means 365 into 24 hours. But where will this 0.25 days, 1/4 of the day will go? We are not adding it every year. We take only 365 days at 1 year, and in every 4th year this 0.25 is added 4 times. So if we get 366 days in a leap year. Okay, now so what we have studied? We have studied diameter, circumference, movement of planets, revolution and rotation. Now suppose this is our earth. This is north, this is south, this is east, this is west. The direction in which earth moves is from west to east. From west to east. Now the movement of air from north pole gets deflected towards west in northern hemisphere, and movement of air from south pole gets deflected towards west in southern hemisphere. So this is due to Coriolis force, which says that an air mass moving in the northern hemisphere, where earth is moving from west to east, will get deflected towards western side, and same way air mass moving in the southern hemisphere also get deflected towards southwest. Okay, now We know that seasons are not same throughout the year. This is due to differential heating of a place. Our earth is not on 90 degree, it is slightly tilted. So earth is tilted on an axis of 23.5 degree. Okay, that is why it is not 90 degree. So when sun rays, suppose this is sun rays will be having more effect on northern hemisphere this time, and it will be it will take longer distance to move to southern hemisphere. So this will be the season when northern hemisphere is having summer season and southern hemisphere is having winter season. Let us see it in detail. See, this is suppose our earth. Okay, when sun, this is equator, this is 0 degree equator, this is 23.5 degree north. See, earth equator is the largest circle drawn on a circular body or earth. Okay, so equator divides earth into two parts. Northern hemisphere, the upper portion of the earth above equator is called as northern hemisphere, and the lower portion of the earth below equator is called as southern hemisphere. Okay, so suppose sun is at equator, but sun rays will not be slanting at the equator throughout the year. That is why, suppose earth has tilted like this, so here sun rays will be traveling to southern hemisphere or south pole. It will be taking less time as comparison to north pole. So this will be the season where southern hemisphere will be having summer season and northern hemisphere will be having winter season. Let us see how does it happen. The sun rays slanting over the equator. Sun rays are directly over the equator on 21st March and 23rd September. Sun rays are at Tropic of Cancer on 22nd June, and sun rays are at Tropic of Capricorn on 22nd December. Let us see. See, this is our earth. Now different areas are allocated on the globe. This is equator, this is Tropic of Cancer. Equator is 0 degree, 0 degree is equator. Tropic of Cancer is 23.5 degree north. Arctic Circle. Arctic Circle is 66.5 degree north and 90 degrees north pole. Same way in southern hemisphere below equator, 23.5 degree south is Tropic of Capricorn. 66.5 degree is south is Antarctic Circle. And 90 degrees south is South Pole. Now, since Earth is tilted on 23.5 degree, the sun rays range from 23.5 degree north to 23.5 degree south. That is why it is called as tropical zones, where summer and winter season takes place. Above Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, only winter season takes place. Now, when sun rays move, suppose sun rays are directly at the equator. This is, we have seen that this will be 23 March and 23rd September. So when sun rays are slanting over in Tropic of Cancer, so means this will be the tilt of the Earth when sun rays will be slanting towards Tropic of Cancer. So this will be the area of June, and after this sun rays, so now Earth starts revolving and this tilt will shift to this. So when sun rays are slanting on South Pole, Tropic of Capricorn, this will be the December. That is why 22nd December is largest day in southern hemisphere and smallest day in northern hemisphere, because sun rays will be easily or will be more slanting towards southern hemisphere and as comparison to northern hemisphere. Okay, rest we will see in the next class. Thank you very much.